Running, it is so hot right now. Literally, pretty humid too, and figuratively. From run clubs to everyone wanting to be a hybrid athlete, you know, I can see what the hype is all about, and it has been addicting. I've been bit by the bug. What's up? We are back with new, bigger goals, stretching those challenges. As you can see in the title, I have decided to train for the Ironman. I wanted to accomplish one before the age of 40. So we are 7 weeks out from a 70.3 Ironman. So that is a half Ironman in North Carolina. The motivation was maybe a quarter to midlife-ish crisis mixed with needed a challenge and something to keep myself occupied for because it makes training so much more fun, mixed with, you know, one of my best friends was kind of in a funk playing too many video games and figured I could, you know, sway him along for a challenge and try to jumpstart him into some momentum and positive habits. It seems like it's working so far. Also was able to recruit a couple other buddies to do this journey. So that's part of the inspiration of making this whole journey so much more fun. I think there's so many benefits that come along with pursuing a challenge or a race that has a deadline, that you're able to stretch and achieve new PRs. And I think those PRs plant seeds, you know, in your head and your belief system that you can grow and get better at every stage of life. So in this video, I'm gonna keep it fairly brief, but just tell you where I'm at now with my training as far as 7 weeks out, what my running looks like, how I'm sneaking in little mini goals like mile times, 5K times, and still trying to keep muscle on throughout this whole process. So I'm gonna probably stay close to that, you know, 185 to 200 pound range as much as I can through training while still trying to achieve a really good pace. My overall goal for this half Ironman is sub 6 hours. Maybe it's a little bit of a reach, but I am up for those challenges, and it makes everything a whole lot more fun when we have something to aim for and add that into our training. So the last time I did a triathlon was pre-COVID times. I did an Olympic triathlon in San Diego and had fun with it. And I was starting to get the bug, but then a lot of things continued to slow down. So decided to get back into it, bought another used road bike, got a good value on that. I got some new running shoes and started building my mileage up. The combination of run clubs and encouragement from friends has made this whole process so much more gratifying, and it really truly is fun to see how the body progresses. And we can either adapt to that comfort of sitting around and doing things that we feel like doing, or we can move forward into growth. And even on days where I don't feel like it, I have this game plan that I'm going forward with, and the progressive overload just happens, just like it does with strength in your muscles. The same thing happens with your mind muscles, your speed. And I think that a byproduct of getting faster, getting stronger, improves and shapes the mind just as much as it does the physical body. Are you with me? All right. So on the schedule today, this morning, I went and checked out sunrise at Wrightsville Beach and then hopped on the bike for an hour easy to moderate ride because I knew I was gonna do some speed work at the track, and that's where we are about to go. So I'm gonna do some tempo speed work and just try to gauge where that mile time is. I've had the goal to hit a 5-minute mile, and we're gonna see if this volume of training can get me a little bit closer to that. But today we'll check to see where we're at. Goal is sub 6-minute mile. All right, so we're out here at the track today. We're gonna work on some speed and tempo work. We're gonna do some mile repeats, focusing on some negative splits. And if we're feeling good, we might push it just to see where that mile time is. Let's see if we can go sub 6. Let's go.
So broke 6, not too bad for a day of riding and a super humid day. I started out trying just to do some negative splits. I was pacing right around 6:30 at first, and then after the first lap, got it down under 6 and just stayed there. Felt good, could have pushed a little bit more, but I think that was good just to see where we're at, and feels like a win to get under 6.
All right, so we got this big goal of, we started it with close to 3 months out training for this Ironman. Now, how we make this fun is these mini micro goals, and this is how my brain is programmed to go along with, training, and it's so much easier to stay consistent. So in this big goal, the micro goals are increasing the miles, kind of like progressive overload if we want to build muscle. So it's going on some longer runs, and then it's having fun with the tempo runs, trying to improve the 5K time. Like, I've never ran under a 20-minute 5K, so that's a goal. The mile time, got that under 6 minutes. Always wanted to scratch that 5-minute goal, but first, we got to probably get a 5:45 and a 5:30. So 30 days out from now, which is August 30th, September 30th, I told one of my buddies who also can run pretty well, and he's doing this whole project, is let's do a 5:30 mile. And so to push ourselves to be able to, progress. So those little things, watching the body change, even if it's, pushing through the mundane stuff like swimming in a pool and staring at the lines, or just going for these longer bike rides, has really been fun. And I feel like I've made a list of all these things that are non-body and fitness related that I'm getting from training. For example, going on these longer runs, I'm able to finish more audiobooks, listen to more motivational learning content. It also feels kind of like meditation in a weird, sick type of way, as you're kind of getting into that runner high and you get yourself into a pace. Also, I love the challenges. It's hot and humid right now, and there's so many other things that I probably would, rather be doing, and it's an absolute sweat fest. But again, I think that when you can push yourself through these challenging tasks, it makes you more resilient, and you're gonna handle the obstacles that life throws at you, so much easier. And so when it comes to body composition, I've always liked the kind of bodybuilder mentality of building up the body, but I really take a lot of pride in what can that body do. It's cool that it looks good, and I think that plays into the hybrid movement of, okay, wow, you look like you have a lot of muscle, but can you actually go do cool adventures with it? And so for me, prior to starting this running challenge, I had been bumping my calories up gradually more and more. So I'm going from, an average 2,500 calories to eating 3,000 calories, and my body felt so much better. So that's a big hack. A lot of people are at a deficit all the time, and the energy balance in and out is skewed to what you're asking your body to do. And so eating 3,000 calories has been really challenging, and for context, I'm 6'1", almost 6'2", probably about 185-ish pounds, but my metabolism has upregulated as I ate those calories. And so now I've brought in this training where I'm looking to run 20, 25 miles per week. I'm doing running, swimming, something almost every day. I try to have one light day per week, but that's even a bigger load. So I'm finding some days where I'm eating up to 3,500 calories, and it can be really challenging. So I want to maintain muscle. I've dropped my strength training down to like 3 good sessions that are close to like 30-ish to maybe 40 minutes per week. And sometimes I'll touch up on these little fitness snacks here and there. But I've had to push that out in order to be able to recover, because the amount of volume from training has certainly taken a toll. I can feel the difference where my body just wants and needs more sleep. Moral of the story is you need to recover as smart and as hard as you're training, as you are playing. And it is just, it's play. That's what this is. We have to realize that we get to do these tasks, and we get to see what the body is capable of doing. So why not push the limits and do it in a fun, healthy way? And another tip when it comes to body composition, when you're asking your body to run a lot or doing cardio, it's common that it can elevate your cortisol, and so you don't look as lean, as muscular as you would like. But if you're smart and you do the majority of it in zone 2 type of training, which I'd say about 80% of my running is, it can kind of be like that fat burning cardio that people do. And so I noticed by doing a lot of my workouts earlier in the morning, If they're under 90 minutes, a lot of them are fasted, or I'll just have some like liquid energy, or maybe some liquid carbs, timed in my workout. That is creating this fat burning type of environment. As long as I'm not overdoing it, I'm able to maintain muscle, still get really good pumps. And so something to think about, a way to lean down. But then you have to be smart about your workouts, making sure that you're methodical, timing your nutrition around those tempo and those speed workouts, so you don't risk losing muscle or having that real high elevated cortisol, which is going to make it hard to recover from your strength workouts. All right, swim day today. Probably my least enjoyable out of all three of these, but trying to find a way to love it. So the goal is to exceed what our swim will be of that 1.2 miles today. So we're gonna go 2,000 meters. We're got a 20 lap pool here. So just gonna go 100 laps, splitting them up into sets of 10. I feel like that's gonna be a fun way to push that, a way to break up the monotony of just swimming in a pool. Let's do it. All right, 2,000 meters. So that's a PR. I just wanted to talk about an idea that came to my head about this little internal voice, this little inner bitch voice that's constantly trying to negotiate with you and get you to stop and settle. That voice popped up so many times in my head, thinking, oh, maybe I didn't sleep enough last night. Maybe I have a headache. Maybe I can do the rest of it later. But committed to do 2,000 meters, the most I've ever done. And it feels good. As I was getting closer to it, I was tapping into that feeling of accomplishment, of how much better it was gonna feel. And that is something that you have constantly to push past those barriers, and a reminder to not negotiate with the inner bitch. Also a reminder, if anybody knows how to not have these marks in your eyes when you wear goggles, that'd be helpful. I don't know if I'm just putting them on too tight or not right, but if you know, drop a little helpful message in the comments. All right. I got a break this morning, Sunday, long bike and run-ish. Just did 40 miles, that felt great. So I think it's a big plus how the body's adapting. About to go take off and do a 5-mile run, or might just go for 45 minutes. We'll see, but the progress feels good, energy feels good night's sleep. So I packed 2 bottles on the bike ride. One of them had about 40 grams of carbohydrates in it, so I sipped it, went through about the whole thing towards the end, and then had another bottle full of water. So good process, practicing feeding and getting energy through the rides, so we don't run into any surprises or disaster pants during the race. All right, that's a wrap. That got hard. So pushed for that 5-mile run after the 40 bike, which felt fresh, fueled up pretty good. The first couple miles felt easy, and maybe I got a little cocky, but the humidity picked up quite a bit, and it was a battle after we got to 3, but it feels good overall. I feel like progress at this point to be able to hit 40 miles at a decent pace on the bike and then go into that run, and we still have a good amount of time as long as I keep progressing. I just want to make the race feel less and feel like I can overdo what I need to do at that capacity. So this is a big commitment. You're forced to wake up and do all these workouts earlier just to be able to have a normal life. But it's been fun so far. Let me know in the comments, what are you training for? Do you have any sort of questions, any other ways that I can be a resource? Otherwise, tune in as we continue to update. Smash that like button. I appreciate all the follows on social. Post a lot of stuff like recipes and tips on my Instagram at Jason Sani, S-A-N-I. I appreciate you watching.